I was struck by some earlier testimony with respect to Interact fees in exchange with my colleague, Ms. Garner. Mr. Seromani, just want to confirm, it's true that volume-based pricing occurs at Interact, but can you just confirm that it is 6 cents, that the largest tier volume transaction is 6 cents that banks are charged to a fee to Interact for an e-transfer?
Honorary member, I don't have that information. I'm not able to confirm.
Sir, you're on the board of Interact, are you not?
The board does not discuss pricing matters.
Sir, you don't discuss your pricing of e-transfers. So do you stand by volume-based pricing then?
Honorary member, as I said before, any transaction that is of large scale like this, whether it is involves large scale processing, whether it be credit cards or debit cards or e-transfers or statements or anything, typically service providers would have tiered pricing. I'm not aware of the exact pricing that Interact charges.
Thank you for that testimony. I guess what I'm struggling to understand is the highest tier based on the volume pricing by Interact, on the information that I have, is that the largest institutions pay Interact 6 cents for a transaction, and the smallest institutions pay 43 cents a transaction. That seems like a very wide chargeback difference between large and small institutions, and I'm trying to understand why that might be the case.
Honorary member, I'm not aware of the pricing matrix that Interact has.
Okay, so you are aware, though, sir, that we could ask for that fee disclosure?
I'm sure you can ask Interact. I don't have access to that.
Well, maybe it's worth pushing on this a little bit more, because if the large financial institutions charge a receiver and a sender $1.50 each, and there's $3 of gross revenue going into the system, and the largest institution only pays 6 cents for that transaction, that sounds like a lot of gross margin to me. So do you support moving to uniform pricing that does not discriminate based on the size of the institution at Interact?
Honorary member, today I'm not able to comment on the economics of e-transfer pricing and transactions.
Okay, so this is exactly what's wrong with the entire payment space. By the way, my understanding is that when this volume price scheme was implemented, that there were only 2 financial institutions that met the highest volume threshold. That is Toronto Dominion, TD, and RBC. And lo and behold, who was the co-chair of Interact's board at the time that these volume-based pricing schemes was implemented? TD and RBC. And then you wonder why there's a slowing and a delay in real-time payments. Is it because that there is an inherent conflict of interest on the board of Interact, that they don't want to move away from volume-based pricing and to give smaller financial institutions an opportunity to compete on a fair level? Do you believe you're in a conflict of interest, sir, in your role at Interact?
Honorary member, Interact is an independent entity with an independent board, independent board members.
An independent entity with board members that are made up of its customers. Isn't that correct?
So if I may, Interact board members, I think it's available on their website. You'll have they have
yes, sir.
It's
available on the website. I saw your name. I saw your name there. I guess what I'm pointing out is the inherent conflict of interest that exists by having the customers of Interact sit on the board to set the pricing that disadvantages lower or smaller entities. So I guess final question, sir. I appreciate you for being here today and being in the hot seat. But final question: would you support? You're an independent member of the board of Interact. Would you support forcing the banks to divest of their ownership of Interact?
Honorary member, Firstly, I just wanted to address your earlier point. The board does not set pricing matters, and there's an independent committee of the board by independent members, and we don't discuss pricing at the board. So I just wanted to make that clear. And I think Interac is a unique Canadian financial institution, and over the years it's been innovative and brought various fantastic payment products into the market. And we're all proud of what Interac has accomplished, and I think they will continue to do more.
Thank you. I believe I'm over my time, but I think we'll be sending the competition commissioner the transcript of today's testimony. Thank you very much.